everyone? Kaiju no Kami here with...
Krellica Kane.
And...
a very confused Silver Quill.
I know, right?
Yep, we have special guest Silver Quill again to talk about Donbrothers episode 11.
Is it really a special guest when we are wearing the exact same clothes as we were wearing when we were doing the revise?
Well, it's a special guest because he doesn't always appear in every Donbrothers video.
Donbrothers, Don.
I still love that song. I still listen to it.
Yeah, it's grown on me a lot. I want the full version.
Yes, so do I!
I want the full version of...
Actually, what I find funny, episode 11. Again, when you appreciate how much and yet how little has happened in that span, we've had a heck ton of mysteries, introductions, and yet our team is only just now starting to actually realize one another's identities.
Well, yeah, they're not actually a full team yet.
Some aspects feel very 90s-ish because they've slowly taken their time to get to their mecha. They've slowly taken the time for the cast to get together. So I like it because it's like, it is Inui doing his best Sentai stuff. So I'm really impressed with how this show has gone, these 11 episodes so far.
So he's impressed with Inui in a way.
In a way.
In a way. The
In a way, yes.
It's very...
And this episode was an Inui episode.
Anyway, this episode was driving home one task. Multitasking just means doing many things badly.
Oh my god. So, one, Tsuyoshi he's still my favorite character.
Well, after that time a few weeks ago.
Were he killed?
Well, okay, not because of that, but just because he's just so sweet. All you want to do is hug him.
Until you mess with his wife. And boy, are we going to get a lot of that, man.
So, well, our episode kicks off with our 3 mystery Onis visiting the Guardian of the World.
How's the Guardian when he's locked in a cell? I feel like they got things backwards.
Well, it could be.
Backwards?
Maybe it's because he's so powerful, he needs to be imprisoned.
Well, the fact that he can do a mic drop with origami.
Oh my god!
But
I know.
so we've learned that this is actually a world between the real world and the Cerebra world.
Cerebrum.
So, and the three, what are they called? Slayers?
Cerebrums.
Okay.
No, the Cerebras are the villains, are the monsters. They're... I don't remember their exact name.
They're the Sonos.
The 3, brown, blue, and white. I'm sorry, that's the easiest way I can identify things. They're trying to protect their world from human greed, but human greed is what creates the cerebrum. So we're learning a lot, but every new information raises more questions.
They're afraid of these creatures called the Beastials.
Mostly because they're easy to pronounce.
Well, and I think also because they're like an unknown factor.
Well,
and you don't know who is
It
what.
actually kind of reminds me of Geki Ranger, where they were building up monsters that would show up later in the series early on.
So you find out, well, you already knew from the previous episode, but you get confirmation of what the 3... Well, you don't really know what the Beastials are, but you know that there's a cat, a crane, and a penguin. A penguin. I don't think of a penguin as a very dangerous creature.
Remember the penguin in Geki Ranger?
I know, but then... So obviously, because of the weird...
Obviously, you haven't watched Yu-Gi-Oh! Since you don't know how dangerous
Penguins.
I love penguins!
Okay, but nevertheless, you have the cat, who is the police chief, or the police detective, who apparently has calmed down significantly since turning into a bestial. And we don't know how he turned into a bestial, really, because he was originally greed. He was one of the greedy monsters of the week.
But they slew his greed. Then he took a vacation and became a bestial. You know, I had that one time in Tijuana, but that's a story for another day. Namely, after I actually go to Tijuana.
I was going to say, When have you been to Tijuana?
But apparently, I think what broke down is he possessed the guy on the bus, the Beastial, and then the possessed chief slew everyone else on the bus, and then went to go eat and slay, customers.
So we then have the beginning of the episode where we see Inusaka with Natsumi, who is Mio, because same actress. And they're trying on dress, and he's like, all dresses...
Well, it's a flashback scene.
Yes. All dresses pale in comparison to your beauty. That bullshit answer that men think is cool. He then buys all the dresses in 36 installments.
My friends get on my case when I pay. They think I'm paying too much on them. And yet, never before have I tried to buy in a 36 installment plan. I am reminded, however, of a website with these rubber duckies. They were only like $20. They were only like
$16.
$16, but they offered four installment payments of $4 each.
And you purposely went out of your way to buy these rubber duckies, even though you did do the installment plan, just because you're like, I have to do this now. So for Christmas, everybody got a rubber ducky, which I love them, because I got the Demogorgon from Stranger Things.
Rubber ducky, you're the one.
But, so we then see him next, after the flashback, working in a restaurant very poorly.
So badly he gets kicked out.
And he gets caught by... somebody throws in a tip saying, oh my god, I see the wild murderer. So the cops, with the bestial detective, go to chase after him.
The most inept cops I think I've ever seen.
Yes, because he runs to his bike, has to put up the kickstand, and turn it on. So... if you've ever ridden a motorcycle, that's not a very quick process, because you have to kickstart it and then rev up
and
the
they're
engine.
just standing there like...
But we get the best green screen ever.
But before, I feel I need to backtrack a little.
Yes.
Because these cops are so inept that even when their target, their fugitive, runs to them, he then promptly throws them aside. He is literally throwing himself into their arms, which I thought was the dumbest escape plan of all, before I knew about the motorcycle. Still dumb. Still dumb.
Oh, he is not a criminal mastermind.
No, in fact, I think he's rather ill-suited to evading the cops at this point.
Yes.
If not for those sunglasses, he'd be making special friends in prison right now.
Don't drop the soap. But then, so then we have the detective goes in the restaurant, eats up food, and goes running, and all I'm thinking of is Godzilla versus King Ghidorah.
Yes.
Only he, instead of this, it's...
Unfortunately, all I can ever think of is that Monty Python and the Holy Grail, where Lancelot is running, bum, 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 bum.
And then, so he catches up with him, shoves an origami down his throat to make him sick, kicks his ass, but he still gets away. I like, though, when he went through thinking he was getting away, and then the bestial just came right in front of him.
Would you like to rephrase that?
Dropped in front of him.
Thank you.
Okay, whatever.
Now, Gorelka is correct that it was a really bad green screen scene.
But it was so fun.
In some ways, the fact that it looks so artificial is part of what makes it funny. It's like a really cheap horror movie for just a few minutes.
That's all I thought of was a cheap horror movie. I thought of like a low budget 1980s horror movie like Evil Dead or something like that, where you have the most ridiculous scene and you're like, this is awesome. It is so bad, it's good. And then
he ends up going to Tsuyoshi's house
because that's his only friend until we have that faded. This is like, it's like watching matter and antimatter slowly spiral towards one another.
But then
you're waiting for that moment of contact, and it's just.
But yeah, so we have Tsuyoshi helps Inui in, doesn't know what to do.
Inusaka.
Whatever.
Not Inui.
Yeah.
Inui's the writer.
Well, I was thinking Inui. because he's a Inui brother.
Are you sure you're not just innuendo?
So Inusaka, he goes to Mama Toy,
Momoy
Momoy,
Taro.
yeah, and says, "I need your help." He's like, "Well,"
And he tries to grab him to drag him home.
who Mama Taro just finishes delivering. I don't know what those are called.
Kunai with chain?
Kunai.
Yes,
Is it that
kunai
simple? I
chain.
thought there was more sophisticated name for it.
Oh, well, okay, I'm going by a Yu-Gi-Oh card, so, you know.
But the ninja guy tries to let's practice, and Momoy's just like, nope.
He does his own mic drop, because it must be a father-son thing, because he does like this cool thing where he wraps around his foot around the ball part of the chain, grabs the weapon because he pulls it towards him, and he's like, if you're going to play with you're a terrible ninja if you're going to play with toys.
You can play at being a ninja all you want, but don't drop your tools.
Yes, and then he drops the kunai and walks away.
Now, for a guy who says, I'm here to deliver joy, he definitely ruffled the other guy's jimmies.
I don't know. I like the whole guy though when he's like, "My package! I've been so patient until now."
That's
Yay.
you every week.
Oh
Well-
yeah.
Well, given the shipping infrastructure and all the pre-orders that are way, way, way delayed, I'm not speaking from experience here at all.
Oh, no, not at all. I can't tell at all.
Oh.
But
I was wondering.
so then Haruka is sent over to Kiji's place to try to help
Oh, yeah, she helps.
Inusaka, which
Okay, all I thought of when she gets there to help is that episode of Sailor Moon.
Oh, where Venus is caring for all of them.
Oh my god, especially when she's caring for Mars. And it turns into a horrid hellscape. Especially because Inuzaka is delirious. And he opens his eyes and he turns Haruka into Natsume. And he's like, Natsume. And Haruka, being the person that she is,
smacks him.
no, not smacks him, does a super deluxe bitch slap, which throws him in a twirl off the bed with a horrible red spot. And he is like, in like a fetal-like position, be like, Natsume.
And then Kiji's like, well, he's sick. Can't you just pretend? So she goes to pretend, and Inu then, I like when he then notices Haruka and kicks her.
And then she goes to grab the shake weight.
The fact that they have a shake weight. You know, I'm not sure viewers... You may not remember the shake weight. So
Remember Susan Sarandon doing those commercials with them?
The what?
The
shake weight.
Mostly I remember the South Park episode.
I thought it was just a barbell.
No.
No.
This thing
You
is
can tell the difference between a shake weight and a
This
barbell.
thing is infamous.
So the shake weight, it started in the 90s, and it still exists today. So it's not, and basically, for a lack of a better, because I'm not going to demonstrate because I do not want this video to be demonetized in like 2 minutes for explicit content. But basically, it's one of these weights that you have to literally shake. And because of how you have to shake them, it looks like a very inappropriate thing you're doing.
Now,
You're so adorable. The fact that you don't know, hold on.
well, I was under the impression they were electric and they did the shaking. You just had to hold on.
No, it's through momentum. Okay, you know how I make the joke in No More Heroes, how he has to charge the lightsaber?
Yeah, going...
Don't. That's exactly what you do with the shake weight. But the
Okay.
way you position it is literally... Just stop. Just continue.
The fact that they have this in the room leads me to make many, many questions about Pink there. But
yes.
Meanwhile, Puppy...
Well,
No.
Blue shows up.
I do want to make one last comment before we get to anyone else. The fact that when he grabs his wedding photo of Mio to show it off, and he's like, look at her. All I thought of was Maze Hughes with his daughter's photo. Like, you have to look at it. Isn't she cute? And then when she looks away, like, oh my God, this is so creepy. When she starts to look back to pacify, and he's like, look at it. I'm like, oh my God, Maze Hughes.
Meanwhile, I was just thinking she slapped Black Puppy so hard his avatar should have changed right then and there.
So
that would have been an interesting way to find
Blue
out.
comes over. They try to figure it out.
Well, Blue comes over just as rude. And when he walks past, Tsuyoshi makes the comment, is everyone really this rude?
They are probably the most dysfunctional team I've witnessed.
Well, especially Blue and Yellow, because they're just rude.
One's entitled, one's...
No, both are entitled.
Lazy may not be the right word, but disassociated from effort.
Reality.
But then comes this long sequence of, okay, let's check in on the fight. Avatar change. Okay, everything's fine here. Oh, the soup's still on. Change off. Okay, let's
the ninja turns into a monster, attacks Momotaro, which we find. I think this is the first time we actually saw him transform.
Well, no, we've seen him transform, but he doesn't have the parade. In fact, as far as I know, they're still recovering from when he was recovering.
But I actually do like the fact that, because he's like super serious and monotone when he's just Momoi Taro. And then when he transforms into Don Momotaro, he is such a dick.
Bombastic. Again.
Ha 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 ha! And then, so he's fighting. Then Yellow and Blue, because they started to, they
walk out of the room and have a conversation.
They get transported away, not knowing the Kiji also gets transported away. They show up, they fight, and Taro's like, he's only after me, so go away, I've got this. They're like, okay, well, we've got a sick guy to take a look, so okay, poof.
But only after Pink has stepped on a caltrop.
Yes. And so and then when they get back, they don't see Tsuyoshi there. Because the next thing you see, he's at the doctor's office getting his foot wrapped because apparently getting hurt in henshin form hurts him in real life.
Which raises the question, if he sprains a knee or suffers a wound, given the length of those legs, is that pain going to extend to his entire body? Does he stretch? Stretch before henshining. It's very important.
So he then, where we think he's going to, because prior to this, Blue was like, maybe you should go to the hospital, talk to the doctor about the symptoms that Inusaka has, and see if you get any medicine. So we see him like, well, doctor, to talk about something. We think he's actually asking for help for Inusaka. No, apparently he is constipated, talks to the doctor, gets laxatives. Haruka pulls the bag out of his hands, feeds Inuzaka the laxative, and you see him doing a Travis from No More Heroes, running to the bathroom because he's got to take a shit. Everybody yells at Tsuyoshi like it's his fault.
That he actually asked the doctor for... Well, I was thinking more Dumb and Dumber. I watched this there. But I will say I think he had such an intensive movement. He actually snapped into consciousness and awareness. So much so I don't think he needs the glasses to see the true world around him. But all he needed was the door to the bathroom. And he knew where to make a beeline. Too sweet.
But yes, and then they're trying to heat up some food, and they're like, hey, we should,
this'll take 5 minutes. Let's check in on the battle. So they go to check in on the battle. Tsuyoshi, in his sweetness and normalcy of being a human being, when you see an open flame, he's like, you should not have a flame turn on. However, he grabs a hot pan. Because if you have a metal pan with metal handles, I hate to break it to you.
Yeah, no shit.
I've
never understood that concept. Why would you because we have one like that. Why would you put metal handles on a metal pan? Because
they'll likely last longer than plastic.
Yes.
So, pot holders.
Because plastic breaks after a while due to so much heat.
Yes. So, unfortunately, this is just one time where physics isn't in our corner, but pot handles are,
And then Tsuyoshi.
Pot holders.
So his foot is hurt because of the caltrop. Now his leg is burned with 2nd-degree burns because hot water is hot. He then gets transported to the battle. He falls into somebody.
And Blue throws him like a shuriken.
Blue then's like, get out of my way. If you're going to be a pest, be a bird shuriken. Throws him. He takes out all of the evil
Grunts.
people. He goes back to his home in like a death pose. You know, like those poses
So
that
Blue
you
and
see.
Yellow teleport back, and they see him on the ground like, what the heck?
And then they see the water on the ground, and they blame him for the stock being messed up.
So
2 times he's been blamed for something that is their fault.
well, technically he did drop the stock, but
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
it's not just Wall Street that sees stocks
But yeah,
fall.
so then they have him do this salt thing with a salt on his head. And they're
And
having
you made the best comment though. You're like, is this a prank?
I felt like I was watching an episode of Jackass.
But I think it's an actual religious or Japanese cultural thing.
But not that much salt on a person's head. Okay, I will give Pink credit. Despite his wimpy persona, the man has amazing neck strength. I feel like he could crack a walnut just by doing this.
But then we have him, he's praying, so they're like, yeah, let's go back to the battle.
This
Oh, no, it's
multitasking.
kind of a thing in Japan.
Holy macaroni. Actually, there was... No, if I said rice cakes, that would be insulting.
Yes, holy mackerel.
Haha, salting.
So
And so they're fighting because
so
the
they're
monster
like
has
assholes,
multiplied.
so they leave him alone because he has his eyes closed. Which really, I'm like, you are the worst caretakers.
But
in
then
the
he
universe.
gets teleported away, and they see
The fact he still has a...
Kiji brother there with the salt. And like, I like when Yellow's like, "Oh my god!"
She literally says, "Oh my god."
And she's like,
I don't think I've heard someone shout "Oh my god" since JoJo's and...
I was gonna say JoJo.
Well, didn't George do it a few weeks ago in Revise?
No, he says, "God damn it."
Well-
No, he did say, "Oh my god."
Well, okay, I'm talking... yeah, this is Sentai. I'm thinking of anime, because there was JoJo's and G Gundam. Oh my god.
Oh my god!
But the fact, at this point in the episode, Yellow and Blue have inflicted more damage than the monster himself. And this monster has quintupled himself.
Well,
And he's still not hitting as hard as they do
And then-
against their own team.
and then we go back to the apartment where Yoshi's wife comes in, and she looks.
She comes home like, "Honey, I'm home. I brought food."
And then she looks down. She's like, "Who is this?" And then just starts twitching horror
No,
movie
no,
stuff.
I thought it was really cool because you have like this like fuzziness, like you would see with like the old style 3D glasses where the color just gets all weird, like all.
Well, kind of like something Hibiki did.
Yeah, so like fuzzy, and then she starts doing a Kayako move from Grudge or Ju-on, and she goes over to him and rudely goes into his mouth and grabs out the cat origami. I'm like, bitch!
Well, I don't know if it's that rude. I mean, she at least made sure to open his mouth fully.
Well, no, but it was
I
so
mean,
quick.
wait. Is there a polite way to go in your mouth if you're not a dentist?
Actually, yes, there is. For first date, there's a way to gently open somebody's mouth so that you can dislodge any kind of clogs. First date training. Actually, I have a book I can show you
Okay,
if you
but
want.
There you go.
she did it all horror movie style, where she just opens his mouth like, and then
It's
And
crushed.
she twitches, she crushes it and twitches her neck around. So,
Black wakes up, sees her, blinks, and then was like, "Oh, I must have been."
And so,
And-
can I just say, this is like the 4th Japanese actress that I have seen this happen in live action means. Because I've seen it in Ju-on, I've seen it in Ringu, I've seen it in Darkwater, and now this. And I want to know if they have extra bones in their neck to sound like, you know, the cranks, like that, having like that crank sound, because no, it's not like snapping your knuckles. It's like literally
Breaking something.
Yes, I'm like, it freaks me
What if
out.
What if Japan is having a calcium deficiency, and this is their cry for help?
I I fear
So-
because I just... Because they also do, like, these weird contortions. And the only time I've seen that recently is Doctor Strange.
And then, so Black ends up going into battle, ends up not accidentally hitting Kiji Brother, knocking sand into the monster's eyes, and it was like...
Salt.
Yeah, the salt.
And salt in the eyes, in real life, burns.
And then he's all acting like, oh, I meant to do that.
He assaulted all the monsters.
And then, then knocks the rest of the salt out, and Yellow's like, oh, good thing we have sunglasses.
So, pepper spray, obviously, for mace, is pepper, but salt really does burn.
So they transform into mech forms that finish off the monster, who is redeemed.
We were all expecting the combined mech form.
Because of the opening.
We were. So part of me feels a little disappointed, but also proud.
Well, I wanted to see that mech scene when he's coming up in front of the office building.
But I did like the fact that when Inusaka or Inui Brother gets there, he, obviously the salt and everything,
Except for that CGI scene.
he then says, alright guys, let's do this. And, well, first he's like, sorry for the delay, companions. And Momotaro is like, I'm not your companion.
I'm your boss.
And then, when he's like, alright guys, and Momotaro's like, you can't say my line. And I'm like, this is too funny. This, once again, this series is having fun. And yes, it's silly.
But it's also got serious moments. But then we have...
I never got to finish my sentence.
Oh, sorry.
I never got to finish my sentence, and you two both go off on a
Which
diatribe.
sentence?
I was so proud that... Oh, here's Kaiju no Kami and Cruelica. It's their show. They're going to talk over their guest. I don't feel so special a guest anymore. Now Cruelica's trying to smother herself. I didn't... Okay. Disappointed as I was that we didn't get to see the mech.
I'm so sorry.
I'm proud that...
I'd laugh if a horn beeped.
Oh Lord, I'm having a night. I'm proud that we're going to be 12 episodes in before the combiner mech even shows. That's never happened in the Sentai that I've watched. And granted, I have a much more limited viewing than yourselves, but I'm kind of proud of how they are making this a full journey experience. Okay.
No, the record was Die Ranger with 8 episodes.
Was that how long before they got the
Combined form.
The combined.
Yep.
Well, this is surpassing that.
Because they didn't get the only one until episode 6 was Ryuseo.
Yeah.
Episode 6 they got the other Kiden beasts, but then they didn't get the ability to combine until episode 8.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fine.
Beep!
I see. For those watching, I don't know why, but I have like this infinitely interruptible face.
So anyway, when we were talking about...
Everybody interrupts me.
And it doesn't matter who it is. Every single person, intentionally or unintentionally, interrupts
even
him.
vehicles.
And my parents.
Oh,
And my brother. Everybody interrupts me. It's my lot in life. And now I'm going to make Kaiju spew.
oh God, please don't again, because that was disgusting the last time you spewed all over
Says
my
the
leg.
person who was spewing earlier.
I swallowed, though. Oh, wait.
Wow. Okay. So, kids, when a man and a woman love each other very...
That is not what we're talking about. I swallowed water.
Oh my God, now I'm just thinking, okay, the other day 3rd graders come up to me, what does it mean by mating? Because they're reading a book on animals.
Oh, no.
And I'm
no,
like,
no. Talk to your parents.
They're like, I was like, I can't, oh, wait, does it mean when the 2 animals start to, and I'm like, and they're like, oh, okay, I know what it means.
Oh my God.
3rd graders. But anyway.
So, floating on down.
So our episode ends with Kiji's wife there putting together a crane origami and doing her horror movie thing, and we see the sky just get really dark.
Although, I don't understand why we heard a baby crying as she held up the origami crane.
I wondered the same thing. It creeped me out.
Well, isn't that the point?
Is she going to tell her hubby she's pregnant?
Or maybe the bestial is the baby that she's pregnant with?
That would be... Wow. I mean, what was the child, the prophecy? So, we could get a little Donbrothers, the prophecy?
I still admit that, well, not admit, I still enjoy the fact that not all 5 Rangers, combined or collectively, know who each other are.
But now we have Pink knowing.
Pink knows blue and yellow know pink and red. So really, Black's the only one who's...
Well, yeah, because Kiji doesn't know that Momotaro is Momotaro.
Yeah, he does.
Oh, he does?
I thought he did.
I'd have to double check.
I'll have to
It's hard to keep track.
But nobody knows that Inusaka is Inui Brother.
Right.
So that's the one. But I do like the fact that and they're not like a combined team at this point. Like, they all don't really like each other.
Well, here's the thing. They don't seem to get along, but they do like each other enough that they keep
Yes.
reaching the same orbits. And as we saw when Yellow left the team, she was worried about them. In this setting where there's so much dishonesty and illusion and even reality is in question, the fact that they're so miserable to each other is in a way the most honest thing.
Yeah, no, I can appreciate that.
Speaking of which, the girl that took over for Yellow for the last week's episode, she was actually one of the final people auditioning for that role.
Oh, well. I wonder if she'll be back.
It would be kind of fun. I liked her.
So yeah, it was. This episode was another great episode. I loved new mysteries are being introduced. Now it's like, holy crap, these Beastials are... So now it's like the Sonona family. Maybe they're not the main villains, which means the Beastials are the main villains, maybe. Or maybe they have higher bosses. But I like how there keeps going this mystery of who is actually...
Actually, I'm starting to think the final boss may be the father, Mr. Visiting Hours Are Over. Because...
The fact that he does it to everyone is funny.
Mic drop. But he's saying there's no way the Beastials could get in past
I'm
me
here.
unless he let them through. And apparently he's in there for a crime. Again, you kind of hard to be a guardian from a cell. I could see him like at the bar saying, "You're locked. Stop that! Stop that!"
I mean, he could kind of sell it.
There you go.
But whatever, I can't wait till the next episode.
I think he's barred from making the sales pitch.
I really want to see this mech form. Because now that we've had such a long break before a mech battle, I really am interested to seeing a mech battle with this combined form.
It is strange that we haven't seen that this episode completely ignored, did not feature Zen Kaiju or the coffee shop that used to be a candy store.
Well, we didn't have Zenkaiser or Kaito. We didn't have a mech battle. And it felt like even here, the villain of the week, the monster of the week, was honestly playing second fiddle to the actual story that was going on. Like, this was a rarity for me because usually the monster of the week has a purpose, even if it's like a purpose just for that episode. But all he did was deliver a package. And somehow Momotaro is the arch nemesis of this
Cosplaying
ninja. But that really had no purpose on the story. The purpose on the story was introducing the Beastials, was having the cat bestial attack Inusaka. So, seeing how that affected, obviously, everybody taking care of Inusaka, and then introducing, essentially, the second bestial. But we don't know how they become bestials. Because even for her, she's a weird oddity, because she's She didn't even recognize him, so you know...
Well, no, she did recognize.
No, not till she changed.
Oh.
Because at first she said, "Who is this?" And then we had her where she did the twitching and her personality change.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
Well, either way, who's going to be the penguin?
And here's the question, though. Have we already been introduced to who will be the penguin?
I'm going to say the boss lady of
I was about to say.
Taro's workplace.
I was about to say it's going to be Momoitaro's boss.
But if she could talk like the penguin.
Or maybe it'll be the nurse.
The nurse.
Yeah, the one who was turned into the monster in that one episode. Because
Has she appeared again?
Was she looking after that old guy?
Yeah, and then she appeared looking after the old guy.
Oh, yeah.
Being a crappy nurse, I tell you that.
Because I kind of feel like almost every character you see
Who's appeared more than once.
has some purpose to the overall story.
Or...
Because we actually saw the police detective, I think, even before...
Yeah, because he was one of the monsters.
Well, no, I even mean before that. I thought we saw him twice before he became the monster.
Well,
No, I mean he was the decorating or pop ranger.
Yes, I know that. I meant we may have seen him once before that, too. I don't remember. But anyways, what were you going to say?
I was just realizing having the penguin be near red, maybe he's got a very special status. What if the mama's boyfriend to yellow? Oh, that one. I think I got her gasping on that one.
Oh my god. Because if you think about with the penguin family dynamic,
Penguins. Yeah.
that actually kind of would
Or
make
maybe
sense.
his mom would be the penguin.
But we haven't seen Mama.
I haven't seen
Yeah.
mommy.
Mommy!
Well, it's funny. The subtitles say mommy. He says mama.
Which
My mother.
Mama sounds admittedly a little bit more infantile than Mommy.
Whatever.
Either way.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode. This is actually the first time in a while where I've been liking Kamen Rider and Sentai together.
It's a golden age.
Hasn't been that way in a while. And even though Kira Major was good, I've already liked this way better than Kira Major.
Oh, I do like the theme to Kira Major. Maybe just a little bit more than Donbrothers. It's bright and energetic and happy, and Donbrothers is, well, it's do or die. Let's get to it.
But I also feel like there's been way more plot development in this series than we had in Kira Major at this point.
Oh, yeah. I think the biggest thing in Kira Major by now was that they could take possession of the black train dinosaur. But
I'll take it as many times as I want.
which he didn't know that much, to be honest.
I know, but I still love that line when he was like, well, it's mine. But Kira Major, not to go down that because we did videos on that too.
Nostalgia.
But yeah, I will say comparatively, even though Kira Major had a lot of story, this is definitely this is on par, if not surpassing, and it's keeping you engaged. That no matter what your age could be for the audience, you still have something that keeps you involved.
Oh, I think this is right now. This is based on just these 11 episodes. This is the best series since Geki Ranger.
Let's see, my introduction was Gokaiger, and I enjoyed Gokaiger because, though pitched as an anniversary, the characters were developed with their own backstories, their own interactions, their own dynamics. This, even though this calls on the suits of Old Rangers, it's being its own show.
Yes.
Its own very unique dynamic of characters. So I'm enjoying it immensely. Gokaiger will always be a favorite for the first Sentai I got to see as it came out, start to finish. But this might be, if I like Gokaiger for being the origin or my starting point, this is at a high point of storytelling.
And let's hope it keeps on going.
Well, oh yes, knock on wood.
Alright, with that said, you can...
I'm knocking on wood.
Would you stop?
Careful.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
He wants you to leave him alone. Or should you extend an olive branch?
You are the root of all evil.
You are the enemy of all mankind. But,
honey, you need to just branch out a little bit.
should we spruce things up for you?
Come on, stick to your ending.
Come on, you sap. Anyway. Donbrothers, Donbrothers. I can't remember all the lyrics. Yeah!
Alright, thank you very much for joining us for this next video. Like always, it's super fun. We are always having fun with it. If you like what we're doing, please click like, subscribe, the bell notification, or anything else YouTube has you clicking on to support us. You can also support us on Patreon at Kaiju Okami, as well as you can follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Discord, Instagram at Kaiju Okami. We also have a website if you want to check it out, because we have a bunch of interviews, convention pictures, and other things, and that's at creativitybydesignllc.com. And if you want to support us even further by buying any of our merch, you can find that also on our website, creativitybydesignllc.com/shop. And finally, if you want to support Silverquill, you can do so at MLP_Silverquill, or just MLP Silverquill on YouTube, DeviantArt, and Twitter.
Thank you.
And soon, if we can make everything come together on Saturday, we'll also be building a website where you can see more about him and hopefully be able to purchase merch there too.
And I just figured it out. What's going on with Kaiju is he's not pouting, he just needs to be recharged. So, here we go. So this will only take a couple hours, so, we'll see you all next time.
We'll see y'all next time.